Good afternoon, everyone. It's Eric here from African Art Talks with Eric, and I'm so happy to come your way this afternoon. Once again, I bring you the best from the continent of Africa. Everything to do with art, creativity, at a spiritual level, actually, because Africans have their art coming from a spiritual place. That is the difference between African creativity and the rest of the world. I mean, how more can I sell African creativity than this? So today I've got a special guest coming your way, somebody that I've known and grown to like because of her body of works and her as a person as well. And I'll go ahead and welcome all of you who've joined us online, whether on Facebook or YouTube. Welcome to this program. This program is all about African art. And we seek to educate, we seek to bring you the best from the continent. We seek to tell our stories from our point of view because many a times African creativity is told by the foreign media, but would like to take control of what we put out there. So the aim is to tell our story. So without wasting much time, I'll urge all of you to share this video. Let it reach far and wide. Invite all your friends to come and join us. I'm going to do mine right now. I'm going to share the video to make sure that people join us right now. And then we'll take it from there. So I've done it right now. And I'm going to read the bio of the guest that I've got today, a special guest that I've got today. So as you can see on screen, the guest that I'm bringing you today, lucky people, is Afia Prempeh. And I'll let her mention her full name. There's more to it than just Afia Prempeh. She is a Ghanaian-born artist who was born in Kumasi. And I'm not going to tell you the full details, but her paintings are packed with fire and fantasy. Fairy tales done through romantic lakeside and neoclassical portraits. Concerned with subject perspective and environment, Afia's work plays with shifting points of view. Her portraits superimpose realistic images painted from photographs against a still life composition relating to her subject's life story. Her background training is in landscape and still life, and it prompts her time-traveling approach to the human figure. Without delving into too much, because I'd like her to tell us about her background and her story, all I'll say is that Afia's work has been exhibited all around the world, starting from KNUST, which is a university in Ghana where she went to Ghana Museums and Monuments Board in Accra. Her paintings are collected by reverends, presidents, friends, and fathers, and her most precious creation is what she keeps to herself. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Guys, invite all your friends because I'd like to hear more about Afia. So without much ado, I'm going to bring her on screen. Hello, Afia. How you doing?
Hey, Eric, I'm good. And yourself?
I'm really good. So finally, I get to speak to you. I've been chasing you since
Finally.
last year.
Oh, yeah.
You are a busy lady, indeed. You are a busy
You
lady.
can say that again.
That's
Sometimes it
right.
seems I don't even have time for myself.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? That's an
Yeah.
artist's life, a creative person's life.
And then my work takes all my attention.
I can imagine. I mean, with regards to your work, it will take us a whole day and a half to talk about them
My
because
God.
you've got some brilliant pieces under your collection
Thank you.
at this very young age.
I'm old though, Eric, I'm old.
You don't look at that. Great. So, people would like to know who Afia is. First of all, is Afia Prempeh your full name or there's more to it?
My full name is Nana Efia Sapon Prempe.
There we go. A typical Ashanti name,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's amazing, amazing. So, can you take us all the way back to, let's say, primary school experience and how you got into art? Because we are really interested in how you delved into art as a profession.
Whew, wow, you're gonna take me all the way back.
Isn't it? Let's go there.
Okay, let me just start from when I was very little. I think when I was at the age of 4 years, I developed an interest in drawing. But as a child, for me, it was just some kind of a hobby that I was doing. And every child likes to draw, so I didn't even think it was going to be something big for me in future. So as a child, I was just playing around, just drawing anything that I see in storybooks, in the newspapers. So that was it for me as a child. And then I got to secondary school, and then I had to decide on a course that I had to offer. And then in that moment, I was a bit confused. So I
Right.
decided to pursue visual arts because I remember that when I was little, I used to draw, and then my mom used to say that most of the things that I drew, it was almost exactly the same as I saw in the storybooks and the newspapers. So for me, I felt okay. I think I was a bit good with drawing when I was little.
That's
So why
right.
don't I do visual arts at the secondary school level? And then after secondary school, maybe when I go to the uni, by that time, I would have decided what I really want to do.
Wanted to do, yes. Yes.
So I did visual arts at Holy Child School. And
Oh, so
then
you
that
went to
was
Holy
when,
Child.
yeah, all the way to Cape
Shout
Coast,
out to all the Holy Child girls.
Ish.
You know?
Yeah, so in secondary school I did visual arts, and then that was when I learned how to mix paints, the primary colors to get the secondary colors, and then in the tertiary colors. So that
Right.
was it for me at secondary school. And then I got to the uni, and what to do. And in the uni,
So we
and in
lost
the
a
uni,
little bit of it.
I was offered,
So in the
yeah,
uni, what happened?
yeah, in the uni, I was offered rural art.
Okay.
And then at that time it had to do with basketry and metal works and all of that. And then I realized, okay, I don't think I can do this. And then I remembered, okay, I think I was a little good with my drawing and then my painting when I was in the secondary school. So why
Mm.
don't I polish upon what I already did at the secondary school level? I mean, for now, I'm in the moment. Let me just pass my exam with what I
Yeah.
can do in the moment. And
Mhm.
then after university, I'll think of what to do with my life. Even if I have to do something else with my masters, maybe I can decide on that when after the uni.
That's right.
So I didn't even know what I was going to do with my life. I was just living in the moment. So I did painting. I changed my course from rural arts to painting at the university level. And then,
Oh,
can you imagine? After university, I was still stuck. I didn't know. Charlie, my bro,
wow.
Messi. I didn't know what to do with my life. And then I'm praying to God that
Yeah,
Charlie, show me my purpose. I mean, you have to show me whatever purpose it is that you gave to me on this earth.
that's right.
So after school, I was just home. I was doing these paintings. I was just practicing it as a hobby.
Mm.
And then few of my friends would contact me and say, "Oh, hey, I remember you from uni. You used to paint. You were good with what you did. Can you do something for me so that I'll
Ah,
just put in my room?"
yes.
So for me, I was just, I mean, practicing my hobby, and then I was trying to sell it to a few of my friends, and then I was getting paid for it. So I was
Mm.
excited. It wasn't much. I can't remember that my very first painting, I sold it for 50 Ghana cedis. But then
That makes me laugh.
Charlie. But at that time, I
But
was
you have
just
to
out of,
survive.
I,
Yeah.
I was just out of uni. I had
Right.
just completed my service. I didn't know what to do,
That's
and
right.
then it's like you're just playing,
Yes.
just doing some acting, and then you get paid for it. So for me, it
That
was
that
a
alone
big
was
deal.
even a credit,
50
isn't
cities.
it? Yeah,
I
someone paying you
swear,
for what you do.
Charlie. Hey, I mean, it was something huge for me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I say, "Me, kakra, kakra,
MFO, Sika
ebe
Kakao.
foul."
For those of you who don't understand what she just said, it means, this can get me more money.
you know so I was in Kumasi then, so that was it for me after national service, whilst I was still trying to figure out my life. And
Right.
then along the line, my mom was in Accra then, so my mom came to Kumasi, and then she was very sick, so my mom passed away.
Oh dear.
So and I was raised by a single mom, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I have
Your
to
whole
figure out my
world,
life.
yeah, was shattered.
Yeah, I have to figure out my life because
We've lost the audio, please. Okay, let's wait for Afia to reconnect. Try with the audio. Let's see what happens. I think we lost you. Can you say something? So we just lost Afia there, but just give us a few minutes. Afia will reconnect. Can you say something? Let's see. I think we lost you. Try it again. It might be on your earpiece. No, we still can't hear you. I can see you move your mouth, but we can't hear you. It might be the earpiece, yeah. If you can reconnect the earpiece, that would be great. Viewers, bear with us. We will get Afia to come back on soon. It might be the earpiece. Let's see how it goes. But I'm just going to take her from screen so that we sort out the audio side of things. And then when Afia comes back, what we'll do is we'll continue with the lovely story that she was telling us. I'm getting so interested in the storyline because, you know, as artists, we go through a lot of challenges, but we still overcome these challenges to pursue our creative endeavors. Let's try if we can get Afia back again. Right. Afia, are we connected now? Can you try? Nope, we still can't hear you. We can see you all right, but the voice is not coming through. So it might be a connection probably with the earpiece. If we can turn the earpiece off and then back on, that would be great. Okay. So whilst Afia is sorting herself out, she was telling us about a story to do with when her mom came to Kumasi, which is the second largest city in Ghana, and she got sick and passed. That really affected her in terms of the creative journey that she was on. But what I would really want to find out from Afia is how challenging it was in the early days, you know, to pursue, even to decide to pursue art. I know that it's not easy, you know, in art because a lot of African artists, you know, go through challenges. They go through opposition, if I will say, because there's not a lot of prospects in art in Africa. The appreciation of art in Africa as compared to the Western world is so different. So when you tell your parents that, hey, I want to go and do art as a, or take on art as a profession, you normally face opposition. Not opposition because they don't like you, but opposition because they are trying to protect you from a career that they don't think has got prospects. So that is what I would like to find out from Afia. So let's try and bring Afia back on screen and see whether we've sorted out the audio. Okay. So Afia's visuals has gone as well. Afia, can you hear me? Okay, so we're having network issues, but hey, bear with us. That is live transmission from the continent of Africa. We all are trying to connect technically. But as I was telling you, most of the times we face opposition not because they don't like us or love us, but because they are trying to protect us from this career called creativity or art as a profession. I faced my fair share of it, and they didn't oppose me. My parents are wonderful. They supported me, but they were like, okay, pursue some of the traditional subjects, become an expert in there. And if you want to pursue art too, you can do that alongside. And that's how I found myself pursuing engineering when I came back to the UK because I was born here, grew up in Ghana, and then came back in my early 20s. So when I came back to Ghana, what I did was, when I came back to the UK, what I did was I pursued mechanical engineering. I did my BSc and I did my master's in mechanical engineering. But all alongside, I was still doing my art, and I have now switched on as a professional artist, and I'm pursuing my professional art as well. So it can be done, you know, if you really want to do art, just prove yourself. A good friend of mine, Patrick William Dodo, an artist, says, show your worth to your parents. Prove to them that yes, you want to pursue art, and art can bring you all the financial security that you're looking for as well. There's so much more to art than just the money, but art. Money is important to be able to even pursue your art. Right. Let's get Afia back on. Hello, Afia, I can hear you. I can hear something.
Hi.
Yes, we're back. We can all hear you
Can
now.
you hear me?
We can hear
Great.
you perfectly well. Can you hear us?
Great.
Good. So let's
Yes, I
carry
can
on the
hear
story.
you.
You know, sadly, when your mom passed away and it affected your creative flow.
Yeah, that's right. So I was just kind of stuck in life. I had to decide quickly. I had to move on with my life.
Mm,
I was like alone in this world. So I had to think of the next step forward as quickly as possible. So I decided
yeah,
to go to Accra and then see what I can do with my art, or maybe there can be an opportunity there for me.
that's right.
So I moved to Accra and then I started meeting people, making new friends. And then they would ask me, "Oh, hey, I'm this so and so, blah blah blah. What's your name? I want to be your friend. What job do you do for a living?"
Right.
So so at that time I hadn't really considered myself as a professional artist. I was just
Exactly.
um doing something to get by, and then
Hmm.
for me it was not a proper work. I was looking for a bigger opportunity. So when they asked me, and then I didn't want to say, I'll mention my name all right, but then I had to
Yeah,
think quickly, and then I didn't want to say that, oh, I have no job doing. I mean, I didn't
yeah.
want to come off as I mean,
Unproductive, not having
thank
ambitions in
you.
life. Yeah,
You said it perfectly.
yeah.
So quickly, I'll just say, oh, I'm an artist.
Great.
And then they
Good
would ask
answer.
me, oh wow, oh wow. So can you make a painting of me? And then at that time too, I was not doing portraitures.
Ah,
I started off as a landscape artist, and then I was making still life paintings. But then I was not doing portraitures. So when they asked
right.
me if I could make paintings of them, I'll just go like, oh no, I can just do something nice for you to decorate your space. And
That's
then
right.
they'd be like, so what if I need something as a gift
Yeah.
for a friend or a loved one? So that request kept coming. The request for
Mm,
portraitures kept coming. So it was a challenge for me. And I said to myself that, what if I'm going to make money off these portraitures? And then I'm just putting myself in a box and saying that I can only do landscape and then still life. So I decided that I think I have to go and learn how to make portraitures in order to make money from there. Maybe that is my jackpot.
yeah.
So I went back to my TA who taught me at the
Okay. So you went back to your TA.
Yeah, so I went back to my TA, yeah, who taught me at the university level, and then I learned how to make the portraitures from him. So I came back
Oh,
with a skill that I had acquired. I just had to look at him whilst he was doing it, and
that's
I
right.
picked it. So I came back to Accra. He was in Kumasi then, so I came to Kumasi to learn it, and then I went back to Accra with the skill that I had acquired. So I tried to do some practices with it. And then I
Yeah.
got a bit confident in myself. And then when people ask me, can you make a portrait of me? Confidently, I'll say, yes, I can.
Say yes.
Come and do your portraitures from me. So that was it. That was when I delved into the portraitures. But then um, when I decided to practice it, so people, I mean, it was not constantly, but then from time to
Yes.
time, people will patronize from me. I created my social media platforms, and then I'll be posting my works there from time to time, and then people were admiring it. So that kind of boosted me to keep going.
Exactly.
So yeah, so when I decided to practice it, to take it up
Mm,
professionally, um, I said to myself that if I have to do these portraitures, and then already growing up, seeing these other artists, whatever that I have seen them do,
hmm.
most of their portraitures is like from the head to the back.
Yeah.
So if I'm
Yeah.
also an up and coming artist, I can't do it the same way as I've seen the others do it.
Hmm.
So I have to do more. I have to add something more to it. So that was when I decided to make it the full portraitures. And then I couldn't leave the background plain. So I
Yeah.
decided to bring in the landscapes that I started with, and then the still life compositions that I did. So I decided to fix these genres into the background. And then with time, as my practice was evolving, I said to myself that it can't just be a beautiful painting. It has to
True.
make meaning, it has to make sense, it has to speak to my audience. So I decided that whoever that I have to paint, I'll have to know a little bit of background about the person, whether it's their family, their hobbies, their job, whatever it
Yeah.
is that they love doing, and then try to make a composition out of it, and then fix it into the background, and then make it their life story, and then I'll call that my portraiture.
That's good.
So
Pause
for
right there for
me,
me.
it does not
Because
the
I'd like
portraiture.
to, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Sorry to cut you over. I'd like us to take it back a little bit, and then we'll spend some time talking about the concepts of your painting. I'll be showing some visuals of what you actually paint, so that you can talk over what you've painted. But what really caught my interest was the fact that, in university, you still hadn't decided that you wanted to be an artist. Was it a challenge? Was it a fear of what people would say, or the perception of people not appreciating art in Ghana or in Africa as a whole that wasn't making you jump straight into art as a profession? I'll take it again. I don't think you heard me. Can you hear me now? Can, can you hear me? Yeah, we can't hear you. Unfortunately, we can't hear you. I think the volume cuts off a little bit at some point. So whatever you did last time that made us hear you, if you can do that, that would be great. I'm going to take you off screen and you can probably fix it, and then we will take it from there. So what I want to ask Afia, and that's what I asked earlier when the volume cut off, was her challenges that she faced, because many a times art is not seen as a lucrative area in our lives. So as artists, sometimes we are not confident enough to go into that venture, especially from the African continent. So I'd like to find out whether she had the same issue. Afia, are you ready to join us? Okay, we can't hear you, unfortunately. So maybe you have to go out and come back in as you did last time, and then we'll take it from. Or, unfortunately, the volume keeps capsing up, and we will have to come back to her. But she was talking about the fact that she went into landscape. So I'd like to show one or two of her landscape pieces, and then when she comes back, she'll tell us about it. But these are wonderful, wonderful pieces of what Afia can do. Um, these are very colorful, vibrant pieces. And what I'm interested in is how she's able to combine local scenes as well as contemporary, kind of like European scenes in her pieces. So when Afia comes back, she'll be talking about all of these. But before then, guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure that you do subscribe to this channel right now, because I'll be bringing you different artists every week. And if you want to know more about what this channel is all about, let me get the details of the channel. It's called African Art with Eric. If you go to YouTube and you type in African Art with Eric, you'd see me right there, so that every single week I'll bring you someone from the continent. Let's try Afia again and see whether we can hear her. Hi, Afia, can you hear us? And can we hear you? Okay, we can't hear you. It might be a connection somewhere. Whatever magic that you do, please do it, because we can't afford to miss your what you're telling us. Okay, so Afia is still connecting. And while she's still connecting, I was telling you about the YouTube channel that you can join right now. So use this opportunity to just hit on the subscribe button, also hit on the like button, and share this to your friends so that they can join us. So every week when we come with a different artist from the continent of Africa, you get to hear our stories, African stories from our point of view. You also get to see the beautiful paintings and the creative works that we have for you. Let's try Afia again. Okay. Is it working?
Hello, Eric.
Yes, it's working. So what did you do?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's working.
It's working, yeah. What have you been doing?
Yeah, I can hear you. I actually had to disconnect something.
I think that's what's happening. Great. So we'll keep it like this.
Okay, great.
we'll keep it like this, and then we'll carry on with the story. The question I wanted to ask you just before this happened was that at university level, you still hadn't decided that you wanted to take art as a profession. Now, was it because of the fear of the unknown, the fear of not having, let's say, financial support, or the perception of people with regards to art when it comes to Africa? Was that the case?
Um, hmm. I think maybe it was the fear of the unknown.
Mm,
And my mom raised me and my brother as a single mom.
that's right.
And I always wanted to grow up and be somebody great and do something for my mom.
Exactly.
I wanted to complete school quickly and then maybe have a great job and then start making money quickly and
Yes.
then really take care of my mom and then make her really comfortable.
Yes.
So I started to think, and for me, growing up, I realized that most of the artists that I had seen didn't really make enough from
Yes.
the paintings that they sold or whatever art that they were pursuing.
Hmm.
So I was just afraid that what if I grow up and then I become an artist and then I don't really make money from it and then
Hmm.
people don't purchase my art. That means I'm not going to eat. If
True.
somebody don't buy one painting, I'll be hungry. Oh.
Yes.
So that was my concern,
Hmm.
you know. So man, at a point I actually told my mom that I'm a bit confused and then I'm scared about the future. And
That's
then
right.
she asked me whatever it was. So I poured down my fears and my concerns to her. And then she was like, okay, she's also thought about it.
That's
But
right.
then she just wants me to do whatever I want to do. I mean,
Wow.
she will just support me with whatever I want to do. So I'm like, so should I change my course to do something else? And then she said, anything that you do, girl, I'll support you. So have you thought of anything? And then I'm like, okay. Should I go and study law? you know? And I
Yes.
think I was in second year.
Mm.
I was in second year at that time.
Hmm.
And my mom was like, I don't mind whatever that you want to do. But you know that if you have to study another course, you may have to defer and then you may have to go back a year
True.
before you start all over again.
True.
So you just take your time and then think about it. So whilst I was thinking, I just decided that okay, let me just finish up this 4 year course. And
That's
then
it.
if I have to do my master's, maybe after uni, I would have decided and then I'll know whatever it is that I have
Yeah.
to do. So I think it was just that fear of the unknown. And then sometimes when I was in the uni, um I'll meet people right on campus and then
Mm.
they will ask me what course I was offering. And then if the moment I mention painting, they'll look at me in a certain way and then they go like, ah,
Yeah.
nice girl like you, Pa, and then you're doing painting. I mean,
Oh
there's
my
there's the
goodness.
science course, there's social science,
That's
there's
right.
law, and then you chose to do painting. Nice girl like you.
Look at
So
that.
there were all these negative comments coming in because it's like in our society people have not really seen artists make it
That's right.
with their profession.
Yes.
So it was that fear that I had.
No, very nicely answered because I think we as artists need to communicate about our profession better in our society for them to accept us as a viable route to make it in life and the importance of artists in society. So it was a good choice you made, a really good choice you made. But what I want us to do is start
Hmm.
looking at your pieces so that you can talk about it because you talked about the fact that you were a landscape artist and I showed this piece. Beautiful
That's right.
pieces. The one on the left is a local scene. The one on the right, can you talk us about
Yeah, that's
each
right.
piece, please?
Okay, actually the local piece I made it for a friend who needed something very local
Right.
for his restaurant. So I tried to create something like a village setting for him where you see these local environments with the heart and then the fireplace where they don't really use the coal pot or the gas cooker or the electric cooker, but
That's
then
right.
they use the firewood to make um to make to make their fires for cooking. So I tried to go very local
Mm,
to create this piece for my friend. And then I adopted this skill whilst I was in secondary school. When I was in secondary school, that was when I read about these old masters like Da
Okay.
Vinci, Michelangelo, Peter Paul
Yeah.
Rubens. So I was inspired by their way of art.
Right.
I saw the way they make their landscape paintings, and then it was so real. So I'm like, did a human being do this, or
Right.
is it some kind of a computer work? But then I knew it was not computer work. So for me, I just said to myself that I'm not going to rush with my paintings. I'm just going to take my time and
Mm-hmm.
do it very well, and then produce a quality painting. Because you see these kind of paintings, and then you realize that they've taken a lot of patience to
Yes.
do it.
Yeah.
You see that this work was not done in a rush.
That's
So
right.
that was what I was inspired by. And that was how I adapted my skill of painting. I just take my time to really do it, to create the clouds, to create the trees, to create whatever it is that I have to do on my canvas. I don't rush it to create every single detail. So that was what I adapted in these painting. So I use the same skill for this local setting. And then with the second one,
Mm.
I was trying to make a body of work, and then I was talking about slavery in Africa, of how
Okay.
these Europeans came down here and then they enslaved us and then took us away to a foreign land, a land of no return, where we wouldn't see our family members or our loved ones again. So
Okay.
in the second one, that's the Elmina Castle. And then
Okay.
with a little bit that I read about slavery, I read that our forefathers, our great great grandfathers and great grandmothers that were taken as prisoners, they were held in these castles
Mm.
and forts, like the Elmina Castle, like the Cape Coast Castle, so they were held there as prisoners. So whatever the building that you see, the white building that you see over there, that's the Elmina
That's
Castle.
a castle.
And then you can see, yeah, you can see a big ship. That one I created it myself, but then I actually got the actual picture of the Elmina Castle, and I
Right.
created this ship, and then on the sea, and then you can see um tiny people like
Yeah.
um if you are looking at the paint where you can see people who are in chains, and then they are being led by these foreign people that we
That's
didn't
right.
even know. So I was just trying to say that like we are like on our land, we are in our home,
Mm-hmm.
and then one day we woke up, and then people came onto our land, they came to our coast with these big ships, and then they carried us off to a place of no return. So
Mm.
this is what I
Mm.
created of the Elmina Castle, to talk about the slavery in
Slavery.
Africa. And then it was also at the time of the Black Lives Matter movement. So it fitted perfectly into whatever that was going on. I think I did this one like a year ago. So it fitted
All right.
perfectly into whatever that was going on in our society,
That's
of
right.
what was going on outside there, of Black people being killed and everything. So that
Wow.
explains it for the second painting.
And I think you've captured it really, really well. I mean, what material are you comfortable in? Is it oil? Is it acrylic? What's your style?
Actually, I started off with acrylic.
Okay.
When I was in secondary school, I wanted to try everything. So I started off with acrylic, and then I enjoyed working with it. It was easier to work with, faster to
Yeah.
dry. And then I decided to try oil at that time.
Okay.
But I think I didn't really enjoy it.
Mm.
So
Mm.
going forward, I decided to stick with the acrylic. So the two paintings that you just showed were made in acrylic.
All
But
right.
then just after I made my mom's painting, and then I had to go and do my exhibition at Gallery 1957, I decided, I think I've done acrylic for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's time to change things. I don't want to get stuck. I want to explore, So I decided to move into the oils, even though I was not really good at it. I mean, you just have to try. Everything
Right.
starts with a step. So I decided to move into the oils, and then right now I'll say that I'm working with oils right
Oh,
now,
you're
and
working with
maybe I'm
oils now.
enjoying it more. I'm
Wow.
enjoying it more than when I first tried it, and then I didn't really like it, and then now I'm even enjoying it more than the acrylic.
That's amazing. I mean, the pieces that you do, and I'm going to show viewers, hang on, don't go. Her works are amazing, and I'm going to show each piece. So don't go anywhere. But the next area that I want us to look at is how the role of spirituality in the pieces that you do. And I'm going to show these two because in these two pieces, these are further landscapes that we're going to show. As you can see on the right hand side, there's a church building. Can you talk us through them? It looks very spiritual, very European. I'm not sure how you go about your thought pattern and your conceptualization of these things. Can you talk us through them? How do you come up with these concepts?
Yeah, sure. Hmm. You know, I'm a very spiritual person.
Mm,
And even growing up, getting to this point, deciding to be an artist, it was not just my will. I'll say
right.
that I have prayed my way through,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and I didn't know I'll get to this point. And so many times I've just prayed that God should show me my purpose.
That's
And
right.
then whatever that happened, I tried to listen, to pay attention to the signs around me, to pay attention to my dreams. And then sometimes when I prayed, maybe I'll have somebody
Yeah.
come in, like maybe the next day, somebody call me to say that, oh, I need an art piece. I mean, blah, blah, blah. Like there'll be an order coming in.
Okay.
So I paid attention to those signs.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I am painting, I allow myself to be led by whatever that is inside of me.
Yes.
And funny enough, anytime that I am painting, I feel that something takes over me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Even though I am painting, but I don't want to use the word possessed. Maybe it's such a strong word, but then I just feel that something takes over me to do the work. And then most of the time, I love to work in loneliness
Yeah.
because that's when that's whatever aura,
The
whatever it
spirit.
is so present.
Yeah.
The moment somebody
Okay, so we'll get there. She transmission has been cut, but we
walks
will.
in, you
Yeah.
distract.
So you were saying that the moment someone gets in,
All right,
okay,
can you hear me?
we can hear you. Yes, don't worry, we'll get through this interview.
The moment somebody,
We'll
all right,
get through
today
this
you're making me
interview.
talk.
Your story will be told.
Pardon?
Your story will be told. Definitely, yes.
Today you're really making me expose my other side.
Don't worry, your story will be told.
So the moment somebody walks in, it's like the person distracts whatever that is
The
happening,
flow. That's right.
and whatever that is inside of me or leading me to paint, it's like I just come back to my normal self.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I am painting, I myself become a viewer.
Mm-hmm.
I myself become a spectator. I'm also waiting to see what will come out of it.
Of the other end.
I
That's
may
true.
have a picture of the finished work in my mind, but then as I'm going along it, the ideas keep changing. And to be very sincere with you, I don't even know where all of that comes from.
Wow.
When you take the painting of the chapel, for instance, that's the painting of the Wesley Methodist Church. And then
Okay.
the sculpture piece that you see over there is that of John Wesley.
Oh.
And at the time that I was making the body of work about the slave trade and how these Europeans came here and enslaved us, took us away, and all of that,
Yes.
I was also trying to look at the positive side as well. That
Mm-hmm.
when they came, apart from making us slaves, what other thing did they do here? And then going through with reading about it, I realized that they came with the churches, they introduced the churches, Christianity, they built the Kolebu, they built structures like the railway. So
Yeah.
I decided to focus on the church because, like I said, I'm a very spiritual person.
That's
Maybe my
right.
life is centered around God. Sometimes when I'm working in there, it's not even flowing. I'm like, Charlie, God, help me. I mean, like, I just have to say a little
You
prayer.
communicate. Yes.
So with this one, I just wanted to talk about how, apart from these Europeans enslaving us, they also brought in Christianity.
Yes.
And then this is the Wesley Methodist Church in Accra that you see over here. And then that's the statue of John Wesley. And then under the statue, you see some people over there, and then they are trying to destroy some wooden pieces. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that we had our own form of worship when this Christianity was introduced to us. I mean, things that we believed in that worked for us.
Yeah.
But then they came and then they preached to us in such a way that we tried, some of them or most of them, of our forefathers, they tried to destroy whatever thing that they were worshiping. So that's what you see under the statue, trying to destroy their gods, their wooden idols. And then you see people heading over to the church. And then if you look at your right hand side, there's a fountain over there with a statue of an angel and then
An
a
angel,
cross.
I can
And
see it
then
now. Wow.
yes, at the far right. And then
Yeah.
there's this saying of Jesus Christ where he said that I am the fountain of life, drink
That's
of
right.
me and then you will never thirst. So we destroyed our gods and then we went to drink of the fountain and then we went to the church. And then up to today, I believe Christianity is one of the strongest pillars that have been rooted here. And then
Yeah.
majority of us, me myself inclusive, believe in Christianity. So that was what I wanted to portray over there. And
Amazingly
then
done.
I believe that in most of my paintings, in most of the things that I do, I allow myself to be led about whatever inner thing that is inside me. Something is leading me. Something. It's like I have something to say. This is what I want to paint on my canvas, but the canvas is telling me this is what I want you to
You
do
to
with
think.
me. And with these two other paintings, the one on the left side was part of the body of work that I did for my exhibition at 1957.
That's right.
And with the portraitures that I was creating and then telling a story with it, like I make these models and then whatever it is that is about them, maybe their lifestyle, their job, I just try to bring it in their background and then make it their story. So this was a Roman sister that I knew when I was attending Catholic a
Okay.
couple of years ago. So I got in touch with her and then I decided to use her as my model. And then their lifestyle is about praying the rosary,
That's it.
believing in Mary, believing in Jesus. So that was what I tried to bring into the background to make it her story with her Bible, her rosary, and this statue of Mary and then the picture of Christ. And then the other one on the right side is actually a new painting, a new body of work that I was also trying to create about the story of Jesus Christ, which was centered around his death.
Right.
And there's this angel statues created by Gian Lorenzo Bernini from Italy. And then he made these statues, and most of these statues, almost all of them, are carrying symbols that represents the death of Christ. Some are carrying the cross, some are carrying the whip, some are carrying the cloth that there was a dice on it. So when the Roman soldiers played with the dice, and then they'll decide which one of them will take the cloth of Jesus Christ. So with this one, I use the statue of the angel with the cloth and then the dice. So this story was going to portray the death of Christ. That was what I was trying to do with this painting. And then it was going to be a body of work that would be that would create that story. So I was going to make a painting of all these angels with the symbols that they were carrying, the cross, the whip, almost everything that they were carrying to tell the story of the death of Christ. So this is just one of the pieces that I made, and then I posted it on my Instagram.
Amazing piece. Guys, we're going to watch a short video of Afia in action.
Thank you.
And then afterwards, I'll ask her a question about her work process and how she actually goes about creating a piece. So let's have a look at this one. Let me find the video and then we'll play it.
Te quiero a ti, te quiero a ti, a ti, a ti, a ti, pero te quiero a ti, te quiero a ti, a ti, a ti, a ti, a ti, te quiero a ti, te quiero a ti, a ti, a ti, a ti, pero te quiero a ti.
Right. So that was a very short one about how Afia goes about her paintings. And you can see the amount of details that she produces in each piece. So Afia, how long does it take you for a piece? I mean, the level of detail that you produce is amazing. How long does it take? Did you hear me? Okay, I don't think Afia is hearing me, but can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
You can't. Oh dear. Right. Is it better
Yeah,
now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Good. I can hear you. So I was
Can you
asking
hear
that.
me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes. The level of detail that goes into each piece is amazing, as we just saw in the video there. But how long does it take you to finish a piece?
Well, it depends. Challenge. It depends. I love detailed paintings.
Right.
I want my viewers to look at these works and then even the tiniest detail. I mean, like even if it's just a dot, they
Yeah.
have to see it because it may be significant in the story that I want to tell.
True.
So sometimes, depending on the size of my canvas and then the details involved, a painting can take like 2 months to complete.
What?
It can take like 3 months.
2 months or
It
3
can,
months?
yeah.
Wow.
It can take like 3 months to complete. Yeah.
This is pure dedication, I'm telling you. So in that sense, do you spend, let's say, 8 hours in the studio, 12 hours? I mean, how much dedication do you dedicate to this career? I just want people to get a taste of the amount of dedication that it takes to come out with these beautiful works.
I don't even know how to describe it. I actually have my studio right in my bedroom.
Wow.
And
You
then
eat and sleep out.
I love to yeah. I love to wake up in the middle of the night, maybe like 3 a.m.,
Okay.
4 a.m., and then see my painting unfinished. And then it's like the painting is just like pleading with me to just finish it up,
Finish it. Yeah.
And I myself, I also can't wait to see how the whole piece turns out.
That's
So I
right.
wake up and then I see my work right there beside me, and I don't even want to sleep anymore. I just want to continue working. I remember that there was a time that I was not sleeping the whole night. I'll stay up the whole night,
Wow.
the whole night to paint till morning.
What?
And then when it's like 7 a.m., I'll try to get some sleep for maybe 3 hours or 4 hours. And then when I wake up, I'll just get back to work. And I even find it hard just to put food in my mouth because I don't want to leave my work. So maybe I'll just run to the kitchen and then just get a piece of bread just to give me some
energy. And then you just
to give me some energy. Charlie, and then just come back quickly and then, just cause when I found myself, when I realized that this is what I'm built for, this is what I want to do. I mean, there was no turning back.
That's right.
There were no, even though I was not making much money from it, I found so much passion in what I was doing because I was not like really getting enough money from it. And so I just said that if I concentrate on the money, I may not be able to produce from my heart the way I want to.
Yes.
So let me just forget the money and then just do whatever that I have to do. So sometimes, even if I just have one commission, like once in 3 months, whatever money that I get from it, and make sure that I get enough materials. I don't think of what to buy for myself. I don't think of a dress or I don't think of anything. I'll just get enough materials because I was so passionate about what I was doing. And then I made sure that any little time that I got, I was working. If something really important takes me to if it's not important, I'm not going. So sometimes people say I don't even have a social life because I realized that I want to do such a detailed work that even if it takes me an hour to just make the eye,
Aye,
like
you
get
would.
the details in there, I'll just be glued to my canvas and then dedicate that 1 hour just to making the eye.
Wow.
So sometimes I can be stuck with my canvas for like the whole day,
That's
and
it.
I've not even stepped to my gate.
That is amazing.
And then few times when people asked me, "Oh, Charlie, there's a party somewhere, there's a party here, why don't you come out?" I mean, I'd love to go though, but then I just look at my work and I'm like, "Hey, Charlie, the time that I'm using to go and
You
chill
could
at the
have
party, I
produced.
can use it to finish the
Exactly. Exactly. That is proper dedication and commitment. That is commitment. I think the screen has frozen, but we will carry on.
Hello,
And
Eric, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you. Yes. Yes. If you can tell the kids to just slow down a little bit, their voice is in the interview, that would be great. If the kids can just tone their voices down a little bit, that would be great.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So as Afia is going to sort them out a little bit, in Ghana we are free. We've got the freedom of playing around, freedom of being free. So that is us. That is us. And this is a very informal interview. So we're happy with it. So Afia, thank you for sorting them out for us. The next stage of the interview, we can't do this interview without paying homage to your mom. And I know that you did a beautiful painting in honor of your mom that I would like us to talk about. So beautiful painting, capturing your mom, the one on your left. And I can see that you've got another piece with you in front of that painting. I mean, let's pay attention to the one on the left first. Can you hear me? So you can, right. So yes. So the homage or the tribute that you paid to your mom is what I'm showing on screen now. And I would like us to talk about what prompted you to paint these pieces.
Okay. Oh, my airport is really disturbing me.
We'll get there, don't worry.
Okay.
So the question about was about what prompted you to paint these two beautiful paintings of your mom, and then the one on your right is you within the painting.
Okay. Where do I even start from? You know, just when I completed my national service and I was still figuring out what to do with my life, my mom came to Kumasi and she was sick and she passed away.
Oh dear.
So I decided to move to Accra to see how this art will go with me or if there is any other opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, things started picking up little by little in Accra with my art. So I decided to pursue it. And I was staying with my stepdad then.
Yeah.
And I actually spent 6 years, and then it was after a year that my mom died that I moved to Accra. And then it got to a point I realized that can you hear me?
We can, yes. We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you, yes. We can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes. Please carry on. We can hear you.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And it got to a point I was staying in Accra and then okay, Eric. Okay, great. Okay, great. So I was in Accra and then for like 6 years. So that was like
Okay, so we seem to have lost Afia there. But when she comes back, she'll carry on with telling us about the story of why she painted or paid tribute to her mom. These two beautiful paintings of her mom are so wonderful, so many layers in this one painting. As you can see, the painting on the left has got her mom in it, kente in it, pictures, books, flower plants, different aspects. And I would like for her to tell us why she painted these, what it means to her, and we'll move on from there. So as soon as Afia comes, we're going to take it from there. But before then, guys, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being a part of this journey where we listen to Afia's story. There's more to come on this channel where I'll be showing you more of her pieces of when she actually did her first solo exhibition at Gallery 1957. So there's a lot of pieces coming along, and we're waiting for Afia to join us. As soon as she joins us, we will take it from there. In the meantime, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor. Just go to African Art Talks with Eric or African Art with Eric on YouTube. Do that now and hit on the subscription button so that every single week when I bring you someone creative from the continent of Africa, you will be a part of this journey. You will get to hear first and foremost why they do what they do, why Africans are so creative, and how we can take creativity from the continent of Africa to the rest of the world. That is our main purpose here, to make sure that our stories are told from our own perspective, not somebody else telling us our story. And it all comes through our creative endeavors, how we can sell ourselves, how we can market ourselves. This is what this channel is all about. So as soon as Afia comes back, we will carry on with the story. Feel free to put your comment in the comment box. Make sure that you do ask Afia questions as well. I'll pin them on screen so that we can all get to hear of what questions you have for Afia. If you like to know why she paints the way she paints or the stories behind the paintings that I'm showing, feel free to comment in there and we will be able to pin it on screen. So Afia is coming back and we're going to tell our story. Hello, Afia. Are we there? Can you hear me now?
Hi,
You
Eric.
can
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Great. So we were paying homage to your
I can hear
mom.
you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We were paying homage to your mom in terms of,
Exactly.
yes,
Okay.
why you painted her.
Okay. Yeah. So I was in Accra for like 6 years, and it got to a point I just was not happy with my life.
Mm,
I was staying with my stepdad, and I just felt I needed my own space. And
yeah,
that time I even needed money to maybe rent my own place in Accra, but I didn't have enough money. So
that's right.
everything was kind of moving me back to Kumasi. And
Mm,
I didn't want to come. I prayed about it, but then even in most of my dreams, I realized that I was back home. So I didn't have a choice but then to just come back home. So when I
wow.
came in, I realized that it was a huge setback for me. I was in my dark moments. I mean,
Mm-hmm,
I've been in Accra for 6 years doing painting. I didn't make money out of it.
mm-hmm,
I came back with nothing. I was down. I don't want to say I was disappointed with myself because I felt I worked my hardest. I was
yeah,
up all night. I was not sleeping, but then
you put in your
maybe
best.
life was not really fair to me. So I'm just back home to my
Mm.
family. So whilst I was
Okay, so this internet is really playing us up today. But guys, hang on. We're going to hear every bit of Afia's story, talking about how she painted her mom in this story. We'll get to hear every little bit. We are not going to go away. We'll push through to make sure that we hear the full story. But in the meantime, Afia is represented by Gallery 1957 from Ghana, and that is where her pieces are. I'm just going to show how you can get in touch with Afia if you want one of her pieces. She is contactable on Instagram as well as on Facebook. So if you want to know more from Afia, just go to Afia Prempeh. If you type in Afia Prempeh on Instagram or Afia Prempeh Gallery on Facebook or Afia Prempeh on Facebook, she will pop up there. You get to see what she's doing, the projects that she's working on, the beautiful pieces, the exhibitions, everything else to do with what she's doing will come up there. And then you get to enjoy her pieces, or you get to even buy her pieces if you need one. So these are the contact details of Afia right there. Okay, Afia is back with us. Let's go back on screen and let her carry on with her story. Hi, Afia. Can you hear us? Let's try it again. So her line is frozen, but we'll carry on. So yes, as I was saying, Afia is with 1957 Gallery, and you will get to see her pieces. But from what she's saying, she went back to Kumasi, and life wasn't going on well for her, and therefore, as a result, she did this painting of her mom. Let me try and contact her again, even if it's going to be just the audio. We'll try and do the audio. Afia, can you hear us? Okay, so I think the internet is going to be a problem, but I'm going to call her on audio so that we'll carry on the rest of the interview with audio if that is going to be possible. We'll get through this interview. Okay. So we're still waiting for Afia to join us, but as soon as she joins us, we'll carry on. But in the meantime, I'd like to show you some of the pieces of work that she's got. She had a residency in 1957, which is a gallery in Ghana, in 2021, and produced a whole body of work. I think in 2022 as well, she had her first solo exhibition, which I'm going to show you the products of. Let's have a look at these ones. So that is the exhibition that she had is called We Could Be, and that was a solo exhibition, well attended event. It was really successful, and the body of work that she showed is amazing. And I would like Afia to tell us about it. As she joins us, we will get to hear the story behind these. But I'm going to show you a prelims of it so that when she comes back, she will tell us more. I think Afia is back. Let's try it again.
She's back.
Afia is back, is it?
She's back.
She is back.
She's back. I've given
Afia is back. She's
phone. I've given my phone, iPhone 14.
I like this.
So she's back.
So she's back. That's right. So thank you, Spiritus. Thanks for helping us. Afia is back. Afia, we're going to zoom through as a result of the transmission. We're going to now talk about your exhibition that you had in 1957. So thank you,
I think before I left, I was trying to explain the painting I made of my mom.
Exactly. Let's do that. So this is the painting that you were talking about. Let's carry on with that now that we're back.
All right, sure. So I came back to Kumasi and then
I want to watch football.
Eric,
I want to watch.
I'll definitely sort it out. Don't worry. I'll sort it out. Spiritual. I'll sort it out. Don't worry. Let's finish with this interview. So Spiritual is a friend of Afia, uncle of Afia, and is in the background there. So when Spiritual goes, definitely we'll carry on with the interview. Let's wait for a few minutes and then we'll carry on with the interview. Spiritual. Let's finish with this and then you can watch the football. Don't worry. Just give us a few minutes. Rachel, just
Eric,
give us 10 minutes. We'll be done with the interview so that you can get your food, okay?
by then, my team would have been lost.
I know what football does.
My
I
Manchester
know.
United fan.
Respect.
I
Your
want
team
to- I
will
want
win.
to watch them play.
Your team will win today. Don't worry. Your team will be winning. Don't worry.
They are 1-0 up.
So
I
what
just
team do you support?
how they play.
What team do you support?
Manchester United.
Same here. Hey, we're on the same team, man. I'm on Man U as well. Don't worry. We'll be winning today. Let Afia finish with the interview. Give us 10 minutes. We'll be done. Thank you. Okay, then. Thank you. I know football and what football can do. I'm on Manchester United as well.
So he wants to ruin my interview with his football.
Don't worry.
Because
Hey,
his team is
you
losing.
know men and football. When it comes to football,
I know,
we don't
right?
compromise. But anyway, thank you. So definitely, you were talking about your mom. We should pay respect to your mom at this stage. Right. So you went back to Kumasi and things were not
that's
going
right.
so well.
I found myself back home. I was so down, you know. And then I decided that whilst I'm back here, then I have nothing doing. Why don't I make a painting of my mom and then pay some kind of a homage to her?
That's right.
And my mom had been dead for like 7 years, and I hadn't even cried. I just had to be strong and then just keep it moving, move on with my life. So I just came back and then I decided to make a portrait of her and then use it as my tribute to her. So for me, my tribute was not in words, it was in the form of a painting.
Yes.
So I got her old photograph and then I tried to think of how life was whilst we were growing up, the sort of things I saw around her. I mean, her lifestyle, the fine things that she loved, her perfumes, the decorative stuff that she always had on her dresser, the stuff that she had in her wardrobe. I tried to think of all of these things and then I incorporated them into my painting.
Beautiful piece. I mean, it's got so many layers and depth in this painting. It tells a whole lot of story.
Exactly. And then there are pictures of even myself and then that of my brother to talk about their children. I brought a picture of Christ to talk about her Christian faith, what she believed in. There's this small statue of an angel and then Mary. We are not Catholics, but we are Anglicans. I was born into an Anglican church, and then our mode of worship is almost the same as the Catholic. So I tried to bring all of these. I brought a picture of her in her teenage years, and then you can see that on the table. So I tried to bring all of these things that I could remember of her. And then she's like a high heel person. You know, there were times that she tried to tell me how to dress, and then she said, "Girl, you have to be a lady. Jai slippers, no, don't wear these." You know, wear high heels, you know, and then you know you should know how to walk. You know, she taught me all of these things. So
you've represented that in there.
Yeah, and you know, it became very emotional for me when I was making this piece of her, and you know, I had not cried in 7 years. And then when I started making this painting, it brought out so many emotions, and then it made me cry. And then there were times that I just had to leave it for like a week and then just grieve. And then
Wi-Fi. I have to charge your Wi-Fi.
Okay. And then as I started making it, I also started getting commissions to make paintings for people. So sometimes I'll just leave this painting, my mom's painting, because for me it was a personal thing. And I said to myself that I know what I'm going to make of this piece. It's going to be a masterpiece. I want to fill it with so much details that I can. So you just wait for me here. And then these other paintings, I can just finish them up quickly. It may take like a month, maybe like 2 months, but let me just finish it quickly and then just get back to my mom's painting. That was for me like my world.
Exactly.
So with grieving and then leaving this painting and then attending to other works, I would say that my mom's piece alone took me 3 years.
Wow. Beautiful painting. Yeah, it's a very beautiful painting.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think you did justice to that. It's such an outstanding piece representing the entirety of her as in what she represented.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Right. So let's move on to very mindful of time. You had residency in Gallery 1957, isn't it? And you
That's
had
right.
your first solo exhibition there as well.
That's right.
Can you tell us
That's right.
about how you got into the residency itself?
you know, um, I was looking for a breakthrough in Accra, and I
Okay.
didn't get it. And then I just came back to Kumasi, make my mom's painting, grieve. I mean, but whilst I was almost done with my mother's piece,
Mm,
I posted a progress picture of it on Instagram.
that's right.
And then the owner of Gallery 1957 saw it and called
Wow.
me.
You're joking. Just like that.
Just like that.
Your mom came through, I'm telling you. Your mom really answered
He
your
was
prayer.
my golden key.
Exactly. She came through.
Challenge.
Prayer works.
Oh gosh.
Prayer really works.
And then sometimes even the way the answers come, it may not
Yes.
be as we expected it, but then
Exactly.
God has his way of answering it.
Yes.
I didn't want to come back to Kumasi because I felt I went to
There's
Accra
nothing
to look
there.
for.
Yes.
I mean, what is here?
Yes.
I mean, I went to Accra, I went to the capital
Isn't
to
it?
look for
Yeah.
greener pastures, and then
That's right.
I'm coming back with nothing.
Mm.
I mean, it was, Charlie, I don't even know how to describe it. It was confusing. It was my dark moment. I was coming back to nothing. But then when I made my mom's piece, I feel that piece took me back to Accra.
Back to Accra. And a
Exactly.
major breakthrough.
That was my breakthrough.
Wow.
Because when my one called me and then said, "If I want this painting," and I said, "Yo, you can't have it." And then he said, and I said it's for my mom.
That's
And then
it.
he said, "Okay, then I'll come and talk to your mom and then take that painting." And I said, "When you come, you won't find her."
Oh wow.
Yeah, you won't find her. So we were going back and forth on the phone, and then he was like, "Okay, so when you finish it up, can you give me the opportunity to come and see the finished painting?" I said, "Okay, that's fine, but then I'm not in Accra anymore. I'm in Kumasi now." And then he said, "I don't mind. I'll come all the way to Kumasi, just
Oh wow.
look at the finished piece." So
Mm.
whilst we were at it, he said, "Okay, so I really love this piece that you have made, and I think collectors are going to love it. So why don't you come to Accra and then make something like this for your exhibition? You can have a solo exhibition and then create something like this." And I said, "I don't have a place to stay in Accra."
That's
And he
right.
said, "We have a residency. I mean, we can put you in a residency. You can have your studio, you have the apartment." And I said, "Okay."
Bingo.
I mean, that sounds good.
Amazing.
And the thing is, the long and short of it, I moved to Accra, and then they put me in this amazing apartment. My studio was at Kempinski Hotel.
Look at
And
that.
when I was staying with my stepdad, I needed money to even rent a single room apartment. Like
That's right.
a young lady, I've just started
Being
life.
independent.
I have my apartment,
That's
I
it.
have my fridge, I have stocked it.
That's right.
These little things just
Yeah,
make
the
me
aspects of
comfortable.
life.
I didn't get it. I did not get it in Accra. But then when I came back to Kumasi, and then my one invited me over for the residency, I ended up with a 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow. With everything at your beck and call.
They did everything for me.
Amazing.
They stocked my fridge. They bought me
Amazing.
stuff. I mean, they brought in somebody to be cleaning my room for me, to be cleaning my apartment. I mean, I
Living
was
the
a
life.
princess then. I was
That's
a
right.
princess.
That's it.
Yeah. So whatever it is that I wanted to get earlier on, that I felt that life had failed me. When I made my mom's painting, it paved the way for me, and then I even got more than I anticipated.
You were asking for.
Exactly. And then when I started work at the studio, I think it opened me up to a whole new life.
True.
Yeah, it exposed me to like a different level into the art industry that I didn't even know of. I had collectors coming in.
Yes.
And then it was a bit challenging for me. The challenge was that, I'm used to painting in my own space.
I mean, your own comfort, your speed and everything. Yes.
Yeah, I have my studio in my bedroom.
That's right.
And then here I am. in a new environment where I have my apartment at a different place, and then I have to pick a car to my
go to your studio
every day. And you know, when I'm here in my own space, I wake up in the morning, like maybe 4 a.m.
That's
and I've
right.
not even brushed my teeth. I've
You
not
go
even
straight to
taken
the
my
canvas.
I go straight to work.
Yes.
But then when I went to start my residency, I mean, you wake up, because I have to move from the house and then take a car to my studio. You know, you wake up and then you can't go to the studio at 4 a.m.
True.
So you have to wait a little bit for it to be
daylight.
morning, to be
Yes.
daylight, yeah.
Yes.
And then, you know, we women, sometimes we think of what to wear when we are stepping out, how
Exactly.
people are going to look at us and everything. So I have to look for a dress, and you know, sometimes it takes time.
It cuts the flow. It cuts the flow.
God, you know,
You just want to be as you are and just paint, isn't it?
I just paint, you know.
Yeah.
So there was even a time I'm like, should I bring the paintings here and then just paint in my
And just put
apartment?
it off.
You know, just allow me to be myself. But
Exactly.
then whilst I was in the studio, there were always collectors coming in. They want to see the processes that you go through to produce your paintings. So I didn't have a choice but to go along with it. But then luckily I was able to deliver, and also deliver within the deadline. So
Well
that
done.
was the challenge for me
Well done.
being in the residency.
So let's talk about, you know, in delivery, the type of works that you produce. And I'm starting to show some of them. I mean, beautiful. I'm not sure whether these were part of the collection, but these are amazing, detailed pieces. Are they part of it?
These were not parts of the body of work I did for my exhibition.
Okay.
Actually, I did the one on the right side. There are two gentlemen, and that's my grandfather.
Oh,
Who is
wow.
the newspapers, and then my brother sitting beside him. And then I actually when I was going for my residency, I actually took these pictures myself.
Okay.
I went with a professional photographer to my grandfather's house, and then I honestly, I didn't even know what I was doing then, but I'm just like, okay, you guys just
Hold the newspaper.
yes, and then just wear your kente cloth. I want something traditional. I want
That's it.
something from home, you
Yes.
know. And then there's this painting behind my grandfather. It's an old painting that I did for him. And you
Okay.
know how I love to tell stories with my portraitures. I just wanted it to be about them.
Yes.
So, and you know, old people love newspapers. You find
That's
lots
right.
of these in my grandfather's home. So I'm like, you just hold the newspaper and then you just act like you're trying to read it. Like you're an
Exactly.
old man. You're an old man. This is your level. So you just be.
And I think you really convinced them to do it well.
Yes, and then I also love the fact that they also took me serious. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
I take myself serious. Whatever that I do, I take it serious. So they also realized the passion and the seriousness that I take my work. So they also took me serious. They were not wearing their kente cloth when I went to my grandfather's house. They were wearing their normal attire. Like, Charlie.
They had to dress up for you on the
Wear your
occasion.
kente for me.
Exactly.
You know. And then my brother also collected my grandfather's kente cloth because
Kente
he didn't
and put it
have
on.
exactly. And then I made them pose like this. Initially, it was just a single shot that they were taking. And then after that, I decided that they should sit together. So my
Exactly.
grandfather has this small bookshelf at his place. So I placed it behind them so that one would depict my brother's story because he loves reading. And then this chair that my brother is sitting on is like some kind of a royal chair called a sipin. So I made him sit on it just to depict that royalty, to depict something traditional, something from home, with a painting behind my grandfather. And then when you look on top of the bookshelf, there's like some kind of a yellow award on it. And my grandfather and my brother, actually, they joined the lodge.
Right.
I mean, people may call it Freemason. They join it and then together. So this is an award that my grandfather got. So I placed it there to represent the two of them. My grandfather is a doctor. My brother also takes after him as a doctor. So it was just about them. This is their story. Exactly.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be part of the body of work for my first solo exhibition. But then when I went to Accra, I also took other pictures. And then when I went, I just decided to make it about women. So
Okay.
I ended up doing this one, but then it was taken to London for a group exhibition, whilst I used those of the women for my solo exhibition. And then the one on the left side also is my grandfather. And I took this picture at his house, and then he's the secretary of the current Asantehene. So you find pictures of the Asantehene at his home. So with the new concept that I wanted to create, it had to do with we as human beings and whatever it is that we aspire to be.
Yeah.
You know, and then sometimes we look into the mirror, and then whatever image that we see of ourselves in our minds, we want to be better. And then we picture something different in the mirror. And you know, I mean, I can be slim, but then when I look into the mirror, I may not really like what I see. And then I'll just say in my mind that, oh, I wish I was fat. And then I'll try to perceive that image in the mirror. So it was just about reflections and then trying to be better, the better image of ourselves that we see, like maybe our dream. So with my other grandfather's painting, so I'm just trying to portray that even though he's royalty, I'm just trying to portray that whatever to him, he also aspires to be a king.
That's right.
He aspires to be maybe some big chief in future. So even though he's wearing like a normal Lacoste t-shirt,
contemporary
in the
Lacoste,
reflection, yes, in the reflection, he's also in the kente cloth, as you see in those paintings of the Asantehene in his environment. So he perceived to be in that high position as well. So that was what I'll try to create with this one. And then this painting also went to New York for a group exhibition. So that's it with those two paintings. So I'll say that making my mom's painting paved the way for me to have my solo exhibition at Gallery 1957, and that also paved the way for me to be exposed to the outside world of
the international world.
Exactly. And then I had other galleries coming up to me, you know. So I would say, in all honesty, that I don't struggle with my art like before. You know, something was pushing me to come to Kumasi, but I didn't want to come. But then I had to come here. It was like my setback.
Going back to your roots.
And then it had to prepare me for my comeback. So
your launch.
My mom's painting paved that way. Then it has opened this door to so many opportunities, and it has been wonderful. I mean, it's been tears, it's been pain, it's not been easy. But then there's also been that good side. It's been prayers. It's been a whole lot. Gosh. It hasn't been just me. It has been a spiritual journey. Yes, it has been a spiritual journey. Like praying, asking God for directions.
That's right.
Sometimes you pray and things are not even working. And sometimes I even wonder, is this what I'm really meant
to do? Yeah.
I'm like, God, actually show me my real talent too. You give me this talent and then I'm hungry. Hey.
Let's go to the talents. Let's go to this beautiful talent. Yeah. Because your body of work for the work that you did at 1957 is something else. The level of details, I keep saying the layers of stories within one painting enough.
Exactly.
It's even enough. So tell us about these two because they are amazing.
Thank you so much. The one on the left side is that of my auntie, and then he's the daughter of my grandfather.
Okay.
And then at the time, just when I was about to leave for my residency, you know, I was looking for models to shoot for my work.
Yes.
And then the people that I could think of was the people close to me, like my relatives and then my friends. So I also made my auntie come around to my grandfather's house to take a picture to use to create her story. And then to be very sincere with you, sometimes even I don't even know what I'm doing from the onset, but then something just clicks. And then you tell the person, okay, just do this, just do that, just do that. You just pose like this, act like you're writing something. Because when she was coming, I didn't even know how she was going to pose. But I'm like, okay, you just sit down and then act like you are writing.
Yeah.
So when I started creating her story and then I started thinking around it, she herself is a lecturer. So it fitted into her story. So all I had to do was create these extra books on her table, even though they were not in the picture when I was taking the shoot. But then I thought of her story and then what she does. So I brought these books on her table and I fixed these books by her chair where she's sitting, and then I just crumpled the paper like I crumpled it and then like took a picture of it and then placed it there. Like she's trying to write something, she's trying to write notes for her students, and if something goes wrong, so she just crumples it and then just tosses it on the paper. And aside that, also she's also an engineer. So there's this painting behind her of the Adome Bridge that I fixed in there. A friend of mine told me the story of the Adome Bridge and then how there were these people that came in from outside of Ghana to come and build the bridge, which was made by men. And then I just wanted to fix it in there just to tell the story of how women have also come to a level whereby we are capable of doing almost anything as the men are doing. Like we are educating ourselves, we are trying to be engineers, we are trying to be doctors, we are trying to be soldiers. So as I fix this at the background and then just trying to tell the story of how male engineers built the Adome Bridge, women have also come to a point that we are also capable of doing something like this. So I brought it in there to also portray her engineering aspect of her life.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then, one thing I'd like to point out is the level of detail in the African print. You know, the Ankara prints that we've got.
Yeah.
Do you actually single-handedly paint them? You replicate them by hand, bit by bit?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I mean, yeah, the whole thing. I draw the whole thing. You know, I sketch the image on my canvas. I draw every single detail in the cloth on my canvas, and then after that, I have to take it one by one to paint it as I see
every single piece as you see.
Yeah, and then I love details. You know, I love natural things, and then I don't want to miss out on anything, and then I want my viewer to look at it and then I want them to be mesmerized
and experience the whole thing, isn't it? In real life.
You know, exactly. So I paint every single detail one by one on my canvas.
Amazing. Let's move on. You know, the story, the title of this exhibition is what We Could Be. Is this part of that exhibition as well?
Come again.
You know, the title of the exhibition was We Could Be.
That's right.
That's right. Are these two pieces part of the exhibition as well?
Yes, they were part of the exhibition.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
so, yes.
You know, when I started the body of work, and then I wanted it to be about women. I was looking for a pregnant girl.
Okay.
Not a pregnant girl, actually. I was just looking for somebody who could pose as a pregnant girl, maybe just have something in her stomach and then just portray that part of a pregnant girl, and then just show what women are capable of. I mean, bringing forth life, the things we go through, I mean, to bring new life. And then luckily for me, you see why I say my job is like a spiritual journey. Luckily for me, a friend that I was talking to just said, oh, I actually know a teenage girl who is pregnant.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I would like to talk to her and then talk to her mom, and then maybe we can use her as a model. So we did just that, and then we got a photographer in Accra, and we're looking for a place to shoot. I had only spoken to the photographer on phone, and then we were looking for a place to shoot. And then he's like, okay, I have a small studio, so why don't you come around and see if you can use my space? Okay. So we went there. When we were going, actually, I just told the girl that, okay, you just take your school uniform and then take your school bag and then maybe some books. And then she was heavily pregnant, so she said she couldn't wear her uniform. And I'm like, okay, don't worry, just bring it along. So we went to the photographer's studio, and then it looked exactly just like this.
Wow.
And for me, it was just perfect for the shoot, because we decided to use the table, and everything on the table belonged to the photographer. We decided to use the table as her study table.
That's right.
And then we just placed the uniform on her lap, like the state that she's in right now. She can't wear it anymore like a teenage girl, but then, you know, and then we placed the books on the floor with the school bag, and then we just tried to tell the story of the state that she finds herself in, like torn between a student and then a mother. And then I love the details and then everything inside of the room, the study table, the background, the environment. Like, it does not really tell a story of somebody who is really well to do. Like she's just
No,
from a normal
no.
home, and even the environment tells it all. Like it's just like a normal environment. She's trying to study. She's finding it difficult. The state that
Yeah.
she's in, and so it just fitted perfectly into our story.
And it still shows her quest for education. Even though
Exactly.
she's pregnant, she's still pushing.
Exactly.
That is amazing. That's good. Right. Let's show a few more of the pieces that you've got. I think education runs across the theme that you've done. You find either a child holding a book studying or, looking into the one on the left. Is she related to you at all?
Yeah, she's related to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We have some family members from Abidjan.
Okay.
Yeah, my great grandfather, he loved Muslims.
Right.
So he had so many friends from Abidjan. And at
Abidjan,
a
yeah.
point he made should I say he got somebody pregnant there? And then so we kind of have some family members
From
from that
Abidjan.
side. Yeah, from that
Okay.
side. So this one is part of that family, and she's
Right.
not Prempeh, but then she has her Muslim name. So in
Yeah.
her story, I tried to depict the family tree of how we come from different places. Maybe we believe in different ideologies, like
Yeah.
maybe our beliefs may be different, but then we are all one people. So in the pictures that you see on the table, there's that of my grandfather in his traditional cloth. There's one of my grandmother in
Yeah.
her women's fellowship cloth holding a baby. There's that of her father in her Muslim regalia on the table over there. So it's just trying to say that as much as it's like we are coming from different places, we believe in different things, we have different faiths, different
true.
beliefs, we are all one people. So that is what I call this paint, like the family tree, with different
Beautiful.
branches heading to different destinations, but then we all come back under one root and we are
Yeah.
all one people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
mean,
the
there's a
count.
lot of paintings that I can show. I'm just going to skim through it because of time, but each piece is a masterpiece, I must say. Each piece is such a masterpiece. Now, tell us about the role of women in art. How can we ensure that women in art are promoted a lot more than is done now? have I got the whole day?
I believe that we should be encouraged
Mm,
to do whatever it is we want to do.
yes.
Hey, Eric, my airport is really worrying me.
Don't worry. Almost there.
Or is it because I borrowed it from my uncle?
Maybe.
It's just trying to tell me that I don't own it.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think we should be encouraged to do whatever it is we want to do, even from a very tender age. If my mom had not given me her support, I don't think I'll be here right now. And then sometimes it is believed that painting is a man's job. But I believe that women are also capable of doing anything.
Exactly.
I mean, if I take myself for instance, when I was in school, I was not good at maths. I was not good with business. I was not good with science. And then at a point, I realized that most of the things that I could do, I could do them with my hands. So imagine if I was not given the necessary support to push me on this journey, and then I was forced to do, or convinced or persuaded to do something other than art, I would have lost this talent. I would have lost my purpose.
Yes.
I would have missed it. So I believe that we should be encouraged to do whatever it is that we have to do. I mean, we shouldn't look down on our fellow females. I mean, like I said, when I was in school, people would just tell me that a fine girl like you, and then you're doing it. When you hear a statement like this, your spirit may be dampened, and then you may decide to do maybe, okay, let me just go and work at the bank, because maybe that's the kind of job that fits me. And then I think we should just be allowed, be encouraged, be supported, and then be pushed all the way to do whatever it is that we want to do. And then it comes back to the theme of my my solo exhibition we could be.
Yes.
Like, it just shows what women are capable of. If we are allowed to just spread our wings and then just be ourselves, we could be anything we want to be. We could be
Exactly.
angels, we could be gods, we could be superhumans,
Yes.
we could be engineers, we could be lecturers, we could be artists.
That's
So
right.
we could be anything we want to be if we are allowed, and then just give it the necessary support, and then just allow us to spread our wings. We could be
Exactly. Exactly. You've put it very nicely. And we've had an amazing time. I don't want it to end, but because of time,
Me
we need to
too.
let it end. But have you got any last words that you'd like to leave us with?
Well, I'll just say that believe in yourself.
Mm.
And then this also goes to the parents. I mean, so many times I have people sending me messages and then telling me that I love art, but then my father wants me to do science, so now I'm stuck with the science course that I don't even really like, but then I just have to do it to please my dad. Do you
Yeah.
think I can still do the art? And then people think that they have grown to a certain age and then they can't even come back to pursue the art. And I'm like, it's still in you. It has not
Still
gone
in you.
anywhere.
Yeah.
It hasn't. You just have to
Yeah.
practice it, and then it
Exactly.
will come. See the way my people are worrying me.
Deal. It's a very creative house. So.
Oh my God. So I would say that parents should allow their children to be whatever it is that they want to be.
Mm.
You never know, they may be the next big thing. I mean, it does not necessarily have to be art. For me, I said to myself that whatever my purpose is, even if it's a shoemaker, I'll just do it so well.
Exactly.
And I'll deliver, and then I'll give 101%. Whatever food that, even if I have to sell pure water, I just
will do it to the best. Yes.
God should just show me my purpose. It's just about your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't try to dictate to people about what they should do. Let them find themselves. And
That's
then
true.
whatever it is, when you find yourself, believe in yourself. I mean, when I started the art, it was very challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times that there was no money.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was at my stepfather's house, sometimes I'll get a commission today, and then in the next 4 months, there's no commission coming.
Wow.
So if I looked at my situation then, I would have given up.
You would have given up.
But then if I get the commission, I make sure that I use the money to get enough art materials, because there's food at home.
Mm-hmm.
So by all means, I'll eat. I don't have to do any unnecessary spending. I don't have to think of clothing right now.
Yeah.
I don't have to think of, maybe today I don't feel like eating what is home. I don't have money for pizza. I just want to use that money.
All the luxury stuff, what we think is luxury.
You can't have it now, Charlie. Just wait.
Yeah.
So you just have to believe in yourself, even if people don't believe in you, and whatever situation that you find yourself in right now, it may seem like things look gloomy. I mean, just believe in yourself. Just don't look at now. Look at the next 5 years. I want to be big. I want to be great. I don't think I'll be where I am in the next 5 years. Just keep practicing. Just keep watching. You like doing best, and then gradually you get to that dream. You're going to realize that dream. And then with prayers too, I mean, you can't leave God out of it, because if He gave you that purpose, He's going to make sure that it is fulfilled. So you have to also trust God with your journey. And I mean, when I was coming back to Kumasi, for me, it was my greatest setback. But I didn't know it was also going to be my greatest comeback. So even if things don't look really good right now, what if in the next second you are going to be out of that situation, and you even have to go through that dark moment in order to see the biggest light? So just believe in whatever that you are doing. Don't look at the environment. Don't look at what people are saying. Don't listen to the negative comments, because it's going to weigh you down, and then it will keep you from getting to the highest. So it's about you.
That's
you
it.
know what you have seen inside of you.
Yeah.
You know how you want to see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years, but the people around you don't see it. So just fight for that dream. It's about you. And then when you get there, Eric, I'm going to talk too much.
That's all right. You have
I had
to.
a friend there. I had a friend. I quite remember that after Eric, these airports.
We're almost there. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure. I quite remember that after uni, I wanted to pursue my master's, and then he was like, "Why are you wasting your time with art? I mean, you can even use that money. If you have somebody sponsoring you for your master's, you can use that money and then put it into business, But I'm not a business person, I've
True.
had all these people trying to bring me down, and then he's like, don't waste your time with art. I mean, is this even a job that you have to pursue? But then if I had listened to him, I would have stopped and maybe tried to do some business.
Something that you're not called to do.
Knowing very well that I'm not even a business person.
Yes.
But then, so if you think of the money, it will just take you off your path.
True.
And then I quite remember that when things started picking up, and then I started posting my works on social media, and then I have these people.
Responsive.
Yes, and then people will be inviting me for TV interviews. I went to the KSM and all of that. And then one day he just called me and said, "Hey girl, I am proud of you. I saw you on the KSM show." So the people that don't believe in you now, if you believe in yourself
and you stay focused,
you're going to prove them wrong. And one day they'll be proud of you.
True.
For even believing in yourself. So it just has to be about you, not about them.
Great. I think you've put it very wisely and very nicely. And we thank you so much for honoring this interview. We've enjoyed every little bit of it. And tell Spiritual that, hey, I'll sort him out. Don't worry. His team will win as well.
And I think I'm going to keep his iPhone 14 because
you have to.
My phone was really worrying me. Hey.
Before we go, have you got any exhibitions coming up? Have you got any new shows coming up in future? I know you've got something in New York, isn't it? Finishing today.
That's right. I have a group exhibition in New York right now, and then I have a solo exhibition coming up at the latter part of this year as well. Amazing. In New York.
We'll look forward to that, and we'll point people to that direction. For those of you who would like to follow Afia, do so. I'm not even going to beg. I'm going to tell you to follow Afia on her social media handles. Afia Prempeh on Facebook, Afia Prempeh on Instagram, Afia Prempeh Gallery, and you would be able to purchase a work there as well. I think for people to purchase your work, do they have to go through Gallery 1957?
Yes, and right now I'm showing in New York with Unix Gallery. So at the moment, my works are with Unix Gallery, so they can go through Unix Gallery.
Unix Gallery. Yeah. Okay, great. No, thank you so much, and we'll touch base after the interview. Thank you. God bless you. Guys, so it's been amazing with Afia Prempeh. I've really enjoyed the interview, very in-depth, as well as the depth of her knowledge on the pieces that she's done has been amazing. We will definitely in future do a second interview with her. I'll talk to her in the back door to make sure that we do so. But for those of you who would like to see more from Africa in terms of interviews that I bring your way, make sure that you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, ECAP Art on YouTube, Eric Amoakwa-Boadu on Facebook, and you get to see the work as well as the interviews that I bring your way. Every single week, I'm saying I'm bringing you someone from the continent of Africa or of African descent living in the diaspora to come and tell you more about the African art. So thank you for joining us today, and make sure that you join us next week. God bless you and have a great week.